It was a cold, silent night off the coast of Scotland. The waters of the Bute Sound were calm, the moon hanging low over the horizon. 3 fishing trawlers drifted slowly through the darkness, their deck lights casting golden reflections on the Black Sea. The crews worked steadily, hauling nets, checking lines, unaware of what was unfolding far beneath them. Deep below the surface, the HMS Trenchant, a nuclear-powered submarine of the Royal Navy, moved silently through the water. 82 meters of steel and power, crewed by 120 men. On board were 6 trainees, part of the Royal Navy's most demanding command program, the Perisher Course. It was designed to test their ability to handle the pressures of submarine command and to make decisions where even the smallest mistake could mean disaster. That night, the Trenchant was in Scottish waters, running training drills. Everything appeared routine. Meanwhile, the trawler Antares, a small wooden vessel built in 1965, had left the fishing village of Carradale. At her helm was skipper Hugh Campbell, a 36-year-old fisherman with years of experience on these same waters. Alongside him were 3 crewmen, hard-working men who knew the sea as their home. The Antares had fished these grounds many times before, particularly in the deep trench northeast of the Isle of Arran. The night was calm, the wind light, and the visibility excellent. There was no reason to expect anything but another ordinary trip. A few miles away, 2 other trawlers, the Heroine and the Hercules, were also fishing. The 3 boats occasionally passed one another, talking over the radio as they worked through the night. At around 5:30 in the evening, the Antares dropped her lines and began towing northwest, her nets sweeping through the depths. The skipper told the nearby Heroine that he was going below deck for a short rest while another crew member steered. It was a calm, quiet exchange, the kind fishermen have had for generations. Then the radios fell silent. Far below them, the Trenchant had completed her first phase of exercises in the North Sea and was now heading south toward the Clyde training area. On board, fatigue was setting in. Several trainees had already been dismissed from the course. At around 11:30 that night, the submarine began a new exercise, a simulated mine-laying operation, followed by evasive maneuvers against a surface ship named Charybdis. It was a technical and demanding test, taking place in a narrow body of water. The submarine weaved through the dark, its sonar operators tracking every contact around them. Shortly after 2 o'clock in the morning, the Trenchant finished her mock attack run and began heading northwest at a steady 6 knots. Inside, the course leader and captain discussed the trainees' performance, while command of the submarine was handed temporarily to one of the students. On the surface, the Heroine and Hercules could no longer see the Antares on radar. They assumed she had moved to another area to fish. No one was alarmed. Beneath them, sonar operators aboard the Trenchant picked up new contacts, faint, shifting echoes from fishing vessels above. One of them, labeled Contact 5, began to grow louder. It was moving fast and closing distance. The trainee in command ordered a turn to port to avoid it. But the contact signal grew stronger, louder, dangerously close. Then came the impact. At 2:19 a.m., the Trenchant shuddered violently. A deep metallic screech echoed through her hull as fishing wires scraped along the submarine's steel. The sonar room erupted with noise. Alarms, shouts, confusion. The trainee reported a trawl snag. Engines were stopped. Somewhere above, something had gone terribly wrong. On the Antares, the effect was instant and devastating. The trawl wires suddenly tightened, jerking the vessel backward. The small boat heaved violently to one side, throwing the men off their feet. The Antares rolled hard to starboard, her wheelhouse flooding with icy seawater. The crew fought desperately to free the lines and start the engines, but the submarine's immense force pulled them down. The lights flickered, then vanished into darkness. In less than a minute, the Antares disappeared beneath the surface, taking all 4 men with her. Moments later, the Trenchant rose to periscope depth. The captain scanned the sea, calm, quiet, 2 trawlers still fishing as normal, no sign of distress, no floating debris. He ordered the submarine to surface. When they broke through the water, the crew found steel wire and chains tangled around the submarine's tower, evidence of a snag. Still, with no clear indication that a vessel had sunk, the Trenchant reported the incident but was told to continue its exercise. By morning, debris began to appear, fish boxes, oil, and wood fragments floating on the waves. At 9 a.m., the alarm was officially raised. Helicopters were dispatched, scouring the area. By the end of the day, sonar identified a wreck lying 150 meters below the surface. Divers were sent down, and soon it was confirmed. The wreck was the Antares. She was lying on her starboard side, largely intact, her nets still entangled, silent testimony to the tragedy that had unfolded. In the weeks that followed, an inquiry revealed what had happened. The submarine's watchkeepers had failed to realize that two separate trawlers appeared as one contact on sonar. The Trenchant had violated safety distances, coming far too close to surface vessels. When she turned, her fin caught the Antares' trawl wire, pulling the fishing boat under in seconds. 4 men were lost. The investigation led to changes across the Royal Navy. Submarines were ordered to maintain greater distances from fishing boats and to surface when not on combat duty. New safety rules were established to prevent such tragedies from ever happening again. But for the families of the Antares crew, those changes came too late. For years, the wreck of the Antares was displayed in the Scottish Maritime Museum, a haunting reminder of the price paid at sea. Today, the harbor at Carradale is still busy. Fishermen prepare their nets, boats rock gently in the tide, and life goes on. But a plaque on the seawall bears the names of 4 men who never returned, a permanent memorial to the Antares and her crew, lost to the deep on a calm Scottish night.